You want us to talk?
We're on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Fun Show here at Big TV.
Yeah, and they're trying to get us on the air over there. Everybody's watching, trying to get it on.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Hello, Goddard House.
Shout out to the Goddard House.
This is the October 28th edition of the Fun Show here. We've been away for a couple of weeks. We hoped you missed us.
You know they did. They suffered.
We had a holiday and then we had irreconcilable differences. Irreconcilable differences were, on my part, I traveled to St. Louis, Missouri, in the heartland of the country,
Nice.
to throw an 80th birthday party for my dear sister.
The
Good for you.
Heartland.
How'd it go?
That was great.
Was she
Made a
surprised?
speech?
Oh, it wasn't a surprise. In fact, she did the inviting.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Nobody was getting together to throw her a party, and I couldn't have her celebrate her 80th without a party. So
Why not?
Good for you, brother.
I think about 85 people showed up.
Nice.
That's
that
a
was-
pretty good number.
So that was
85 people for her 85th birthday?
for her 80th birthday.
And you were
80th.
you were cooking?
You
I
should
hope
just tell
not.
people they're about 80 people.
No. What I did was sign a couple of big checks.
Oh,
That's
okay.
basically what it was. But my nephews,
Yeah,
with
they-
a little help from me, cleaned out her garage and her basement, and believe it or not, filled two whole dumpsters.
Two whole
That's
dumpsters.
awesome.
From things, and
Okay.
you know, certain parts we were rather ruthless about it.
So
How did she hold up?
Pretty good. She kept going to her computer, and when she went to her computer, we put a lot of stuff in the dumpster that
Yeah.
she may or may
She was not watching.
figure out
Got it.
isn't there anymore.
That's good.
Well,
Tons of it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
I don't know if we're overlapping or not overlapping, but at the present moment, there's a hearing on a cannabis retailing bylaw article for the upcoming town meeting, where they're trying to put some reasonable controls on cannabis. Oh, that's too fancy. Pot sales in Brookline.
you go.
Pot sales are good.
We've got this one pot shop, which is unfortunately the closest pot shop to Boston, down in the Village.
Yep.
It's open from like 7 in the morning till 10 at night. There's always a line out the door.
Yep.
The neighbors are complaining that the people
They need more
park
pot shops.
park wherever they want,
Yes.
urinate in their bushes, smoke on the street, are rude.
Sounds like our neighborhood too.
But if you had more than one location, that stuff wouldn't happen. People wouldn't be forced to stand in line so long. People would not be expected to hold their bladders for 2 hours, holding their spot in line.
What about? Wait a minute. Though.
That's possible.
Yes.
But unfortunately, their proposition for the next pot shop is right in the middle of Coolidge Corner,
Yes.
which has the potential to kill all the businesses we currently have in Coolidge Corner.
Why?
Because there'll be nowhere to park for anybody else. And these
Yeah, double
propositions
park.
are
Parking issues.
sales by appointment only, shorter hours. There's no reason that they shouldn't have shorter hours, you know. There's no reason that they should be open 3 hours later than every other store.
But is there,
Yes,
a
there's
line?
one-
Is there
there
still a
is
line out the
one
door at
reason.
10 o'clock?
Oh, yeah.
MONEY. That's it.
Yeah, well, that's not what we're supposed to
And
be
the
about.
town gets taxes
That's not
from
what we're
it.
supposed to be about. Are you not an American? That's all we are about.
No, I am an American, and it is not all we're about.
No, but that's what has
You
been
sound like
represented.
a Trump supporter.
Nope.
No,
That is
no,
offensive.
no.
Our country has represented its monetary selfishness. Like, it's all about money all the time. Everybody puts money first. Now, if we're going to change, be part of the solution. Like, how are you going to be part of the change?
Please back up and remove the everybody.
All right. Almost everybody.
Well, half the country.
Meaning it is still an American cultural piece. Whether you yourself embody it, I mean, they elected this moron to be our president. He's not my president, yet I'm an American. Okay? Yet that is what other countries see represented about us, is him. They also see us monetarily.
Which is why no other country on earth trusts us now.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
But the thing is, no. You know, we always get that warm feeling when we have a hurricane or a tornado
What
or
about
something.
the fires in California?
Or the fires in California, and everybody comes together to help each other and
Yeah.
stuff.
Not
You
here.
know, how would you like a story that said, well, the grass fire was approaching my house, and my neighbor came over and offered to bring his garden hose if I'd pay him $50?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's
Would you
rough.
like that
No, I
story?
wouldn't.
Would that be American?
Pay for
Unfortunately,
help.
that seems to be what's been happening lately in a lot of
Well,
places.
I haven't heard
That's a
that.
terrible story, though.
No, but that is
Yeah.
just like, that's the wrong attitude. And I
Yeah.
think there's a huge percentage
Right.
of us that want to. So here we have this nastiness that's coming out everywhere.
Yeah, it
there's a
is.
huge percentage of us that are going, you know what? I don't need to be nasty.
No, you
and,
don't.
And so we're going to be nice to everybody. We're going to help lift it. There's more and more people that are recognizing that it feels better to help than tear down.
That's good.
That's
Grandma.
America.
That is the America we want to be.
That's
and
America
that's where
for
we
me.
need to be.
And on that positive note,
Thank you.
I'm going to turn to our necrologist.
That's me.
That's
It's me
you.
again. It's still me. Excellent. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to do this as quick and efficiently as I can. We have Beverly Sacklor. Did I pronounce it right?
I believe so.
She passed away at 95. She was the co-owner of Purdue Pharma. She is considered the #1 opioid pusher.
Yes,
Should they just not, is it $1 billion settlement?
something like that. But Purdue Pharma, which everybody thinks is a chicken
Yeah,
plant,
that was my.
Purdue Pharma.
I did a dry run on this, and my first guess was chicken.
is the #1 place to win out, no holds barred, no honor, no reserve, push opioids. Of course, they're not addictive. Give them to everybody.
Because
Give them
it's
by
all
the
about
handful.
money.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Then we have Elijah Cummings. At 68, he's the chair of the Oversight Committee.
man.
And
Only 68.
Yeah, sad, isn't it?
And well, his district is Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
That the current occupant of the White House lambasted as rat-infested, disgusting, etc.
Terrible.
First
Terrible.
African American politician to have the honor of lying in state in the rotunda of the national
I
capitol.
wish I could have gone to that. I mean it.
Yeah.
I would
He
like
was a
Special.
good guy, and only, from our standpoint, only 68.
yes.
That's
No, that's hard to
Not
hear.
from your standpoint,
No,
but from
but
my
my
standpoint.
parents are over 68, so the
Okay.
idea of losing family, I mean, that hurts.
Right, and
So-
most of the other people on that list are like 90 years old.
Actually, so the next one is Al Burton, he who produced The Jeffersons, Different Strokes, and One Day at a Time, but you didn't say how old he was.
About 75.
I didn't say how old he was. I assume he was up there. My source did not give an age.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I failed you guys because I should have looked that up.
Yeah, no,
But we're going to
feel-
assume that he was elderly because that'll just make us all feel better about ourselves.
Different Strokes and stuff was quite a long time ago.
Yep.
Yes.
But they definitly crossed barriers. They were the
Well,
first
yeah, no, that's absolutely
you know,
true. I
barrier
mean,
crossing.
these were all black casts in prime time comedy.
They also had token white people. Like that was the cute. It was each one of them had token white people.
Oh, you know them better than I do.
Well, Different Strokes. There was the white father and the white daughter. And then the Jeffersons, it was the white husband.
the
of
guy across the hall.
That's right. Yeah. And then
Who kept
One
getting
Day
the
at a-
door slammed in his face.
And One Day at a Time, that was a white show. Like they were all.
Okay.
That was a
Well,
bunch of,
most of them, yeah.
I think that one was. But it still was. But it was a single mom raising a bunch of kids. So still.
Oh, is that the one? Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
with the woman and their two daughters
Yes.
thing.
Yep.
Don't forget that
Beverly,
I won't.
Beverly D'Angelo, is that who it was?
No,
No?
but I know who you're thinking of. We'll have to circle back on this. Mike's
The-
going to
the
yell at
other
us.
congressman, yeah.
Sorry, and one more for the necrology before we digress to past events of television. John Conyers, 90, the U.S. It says U.S. House from 1965 to 2017. Detroit.
Right.
You said the longest.
He was the dean of the House.
Dean of the House.
Dean of the House is an unofficial title given to the person with the longest tenure in the House of of Representatives in
And he did his
in
best.
Congress.
for the
So
most
who moves
part.
into Dean now?
Who's the dean?
Because it'd be just
Probably-
like the next person who's in
Probably
closest.
somebody from Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
odds are it's probably somebody we don't like much.
That's,
Fair enough.
It is.
Someone who's been around too long,
It
who
is.
should have lost his seat some
Which, of
time
course,
ago.
there's a lot of people who would say that about
they
John.
like who
but-
we don't like. That's the,
That's
in
the way
fact,
that goes.
we just lost a congresswoman today.
yes.
This what was her name? Kitty Hill.
Is that the one that dropped
Kathy
out?
Hill.
She dropped out
She resigned.
for inappropriate staffer relations.
Yeah.
Apparently, her husband outed her. Which
Apparently,
is rude.
her husband's kind of a mean character.
Yeah, that's rude.
Her husband in the middle of a divorce.
Yes,
One
yes.
has to clarify. Anyway,
Yes, not her happy home husband.
in a sense, the only reason it matters to me is that in the last election, she beat a Republican and put a Democrat in his seat.
Gotcha.
So, but you see, this is our handicap. If it was a Republican in the same position, they would never resign, right?
Yeah.
Because they have no honor, they have no integrity, they have
Not
no
all of
morals.
them, because there was a bunch of Republicans that resigned when Trump first went into office.
A few.
There's a lot of. I mean, there was enough that.
They didn't resign.
Right.
What they said is, "I'm not running for
Yeah,
reelection."
they knew they were going to lose.
And that's
and they
as
didn't
that's
run.
as the equivalent of resignation.
Frequently it is. You know, in fact, speaking of which, I wrote a note to Joe Kennedy today. He sent out an email why I'm running for Senate. And it was really my hair's on fire and the sky is falling kind of thing. I mean, it was amazing how hysterical it was. You know,
He has to get in there to
What if-
save everybody.
So what if his staff wrote it?
everything's terrible, you know. But the point is, it offered not one single reason why he's running for Senate.
Right.
Because whatever he can do in the Senate is exactly the same that he could do in the House. And by running for Senate, he risks not being in the House. So
That's what you
I
wrote him?
wrote to him and said, I don't understand the logic here. Please try again. You know.
Are you expecting a reply?
No.
Has he ever replied before?
Might get a postal card or something.
Little acknowledgement. Thank
Thanks
you
for
your
campaign.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks for
contacting
thinking,
me.
yeah.
And send money to the fund.
I think there's a 25% chance it'll be a test.
Okay.
Because if I do get an actual reply,
Yep.
it will overcome my misgivings.
There you go.
You
What
know?
a nice man you are.
Huh?
What a nice person you are.
You give him an out. You give him a makeup moment.
Yeah, well, you know, I like
I get that.
I like the
completely.
kid.
I do too.
I like the
but-
kid, and I like him
You
better
need
than
something redeeming.
I like him better than Markey.
Yeah.
Markey,
okay.
to me, you know, Markey is white bread, untoasted.
Okay.
Not to be racially inappropriate in any way, shape, or form, because you can't hate on white people anymore, either. I'm sorry,
no.
white bread. I think that's an offensive term. I think that could be
I
construed as
can't
offensive.
refer to white bread. How am I?
don't- I
How am
get-
I,
no.
how am I
That's
going to order my
BC.
chicken salad from now on?
That's-
Well, in that
Literally.
context, you are allowed to use that
This
term.
is an old phrase. White
That's right,
bread,
and this is-
bland, ordinary,
Yes,
etc.
I understand
This has
that.
nothing to do with race.
Okay.
None.
Just be careful.
None.
I'm letting you know that you just don't know what door you open when you use
So
Hey,
what?
those
hey,
words.
I
those are the
think these
people
are
we were
pretty
previously saying should be lined up and shot.
These
So,
are pretty skimpy outfits that they're showing on the.
What?
They get thinner and smaller. The outfits that the women, young women are wearing.
On what?
now there's a
Jen?
segue.
I was definitely a segue.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
What are you referring to specifically?
Wait a second.
Are
Wait
they
a
out in the
second. Do you
world?
see
Me
anything
too,
over
is
there?
it?
What's he looking at?
I don't see any women running around here with skimpy clothes
Not
on.
here.
But where? That's
on
what I wanna know.
television.
Where? I want to
And
go
where
there.
on television? Just TV series or
Yes,
the
all
news
these
or-
TV series. Some of them are.
I mean, they've been pretty skimpy for the last 10 plus years. This
Well,
is not your. unique? Or are you just got control of the clicker? Is that what it
I'm
is?
just bringing it up for a change. That's
Okay.
all.
So you've been seeing some stuff lately, is what you're trying to tell us.
I've been seeing some stuff lately.
Gotcha.
Rini used to protect him.
That's what I was saying. Like, he must have got control of the remote.
She'd turn it off.
Yeah, she'd be like, you don't need to watch that now. She's not turning it off,
I
so
see
you're
some
seeing some
pictures in
stuff.
front of me.
All
Don't
right.
worry.
The other big news here
You wanted to
that
share.
is in fact big news, depending from
Miss-
all the kinds of is the violent death of al-Baghdadi.
Baghdadi.
Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, the founder of ISIS, the head of
Where
ISIS.
they wiped out the entire
low
compound
life.
down to
It is good.
rubble.
But it really bothers me
That he took 5 hours.
that the current occupant
Thank you for not using
is
his name.
beating on his chest and claiming credit for all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, Obama may have killed Osama bin Laden, but I killed a badder guy. He died like a dog, whimpering and screaming, as if he knew.
And he blew himself up with the 3 kids in the tunnel.
Right.
Right.
But here's the thing.
But they
This
didn't-
never would have happened, apparently, without the help and aid of the very people that
That he
this bastard
denies.
stabbed in the back and betrayed.
Absolutely.
You know, and here he is, days after he agrees to a ceasefire, the major component of which is the Kurdish people have to leave their homeland,
And the Russians.
and
will come
he's
in.
now bragging
And the Russians.
on
and
it.
the Turks.
Oh,
and
yeah, well, you know, he had to tell his boss Putin, but he didn't tell the Congress,
Right.
right?
That's
yeah.
right.
And they said, you didn't tell the Congress. He said, well, they leak. They're leakers.
Nancy couldn't. He's the Speaker
You
of the
know he's going to
House.
jail at some point, right?
Huh?
He's going to jail at some point, right? Just so you
And
know.
he had
He is
the
going to
Vice
jail at some point.
President there.
I certainly hope so.
He is.
I certainly
He is.
hope so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's
And then you gotta
presentation
talk about
for
your
today,
section.
which this time really is a totally unrehearsed
it's all-
So this time he's
presentation.
not lying to you, but he usually lies to you. Is that what you're saying? See, that's you out yourself by even saying that.
You never should have gone to law school.
That's what
I'm
I'm
sorry.
delighted. That's the best part of all
I don't
this.
know where it's coming from.
It's coming from
It
that-
exists.
It's law school. That's
Sorry.
what.
That lawyer that's going to be
Got to be a
sitting
couple
there.
of steps ahead of, you know.
Okay.
But anyway, all right.
I don't know.
Go. Come on.
You keep that up, I'm going to hold you down and dye that distinguished white streak there. You
No,
have in that front.
No.
Law school gave me this.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, you look like 101 Dalmatians.
I'll take it.
Better than that.
All right, so comes from deep in the vault, and ironically is called Deep Stuff.
Deep stuff.
Deep Stuff.
Okay, Joe. Action.
So how's the liver?
Fine.
With onions?
Are your kidneys okay?
Well, they have this. Anything to do about dinner?
Well, I used to feed liver to cats.
Pate is costly.
Oh, isn't that high cholesterol?
Disgustingly unhealthy.
But very delicious.
Do you think Mark felt like liver?
Why?
Well, waiting in the parking garage for Woodstein. Get hungry.
Did Woodward and Bernstein offer a snack?
Cold and damp.
Damp.
You get hungry.
We do. And I'm hungry.
Maybe Hoover liked liver.
What's that got to do with Watergate?
They robbed the wrong store.
It was a break-in of the DNC.
Hey, they thought they were hitting a pizza parlor.
It was bugged?
Health inspector was in the day before.
I know you like pizza, but this is crazy.
And that's how these things get started, you know.
I think he's right.
It was all just a dumb mistake.
But they got caught.
If it was just a takeout,
If it was the Republican office,
everybody would still be laughing, you know.
Yeah, this is nuts.
anybody could say they're deep throat.
Yeah, how do we really know?
The guys were caught with the documents in their hands.
Easy to make accusations.
Yeah, it's just nighttime cleaners who got the wrong address.
So Watergate was fabricated by the press?
It sold a lot of papers.
Yeah, fake news. Bob and Carl's book, too.
It was all spin doctoring, eh?
The cover-up just got a little messy.
You own up to your mistakes and it's all over.
And Nixon finishes his term.
Listen, I'm sure we'd all like a big cheeseburger.
That's it.
Gonna make a federal case out of it again?
Hey, life goes on.
But he resigned.
Should have burned the tapes.
Deep Throat got off.
He should have blown the whistle.
But he was the cops.
And his pal Hoover, he's dead.
But it was his sworn duty.
And now his daughter wants to make some dough out of it.
The Watergate gang all went to jail.
Dean seemed unsure.
Another beaut.
How about fried clams?
Sorry, red tide.
Oh, everything is political, huh?
How about a Chinese buffet?
I haven't pigged out in years.
Well, I think they did all the right thing.
So the whole crowd was just stupid.
But it's not the end of the world.
And the rest of the world thought it was a blunder.
I don't like what happened.
That guy rat on a bunch of dumb burglars.
That's the end of it.
Now, where do we want to eat?
I like to shove that hamburger up.
Yeah, my, but aren't we tasty?
Oh,
Testy.
Testy. Well, you
Enough,
said
Mike.
the hamburger.
Yeah, but where he wanted it, not very tasty.
Tasty.
well, I was going to pepper on it.
Enough, Mike.
Okay.
You have an apology
Yeah,
at the
I'm
top of
waiting
this
for- I'm
page.
waiting
No,
We're waiting
you're
for it.
supposed to come in. Oh, enough.
Never, yeah,
Okay.
see? I
Enough of
skipped
that.
his line.
Sorry.
Yeah, you sure? The media made too much out of it.
It was a long time ago.
Who cares anymore?
I do.
Good.
We'll go for something light then. How about omelets?
You'll feel better.
First round of beers on me.
Ooh.
Unbelievable.
No respect.
No response from Mike.
Yeah, I had my say.
We really do emphasize.
He's a Republican.
It just depresses me, the whole business.
I'll make the sacrifice. Thai food.
That's big time for Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
You'll feel better when we get there.
How about I take a rain check tonight?
It was a bad time, Mike.
Split the whole country.
You could have said that before, you know.
It hurts.
And that guy brought it all back.
Yeah, it's our history.
And for what? It's so dumb.
I felt admitted he did black bag acts.
Are we going to start over again?
That's a job on me if you want to know.
I tell you, Michael, you'll feel better when we eat.
Thanks.
Ty!
Blackout.
There you go. You did it.
There it
Now,
is.
you need to tell us what horrible thing Betsy DeVoe did, Mike,
Okay.
because I know this outraged you today, and I think
Well,
the
first of
audience
all,
needs to know.
The Dedham teachers went back to work.
Yes, they did.
Yes, that's
What about the Chicago teachers?
that's another question. I haven't seen that in the newspapers.
They.
Okay, so
That's a tough one.
So they're not back to work.
It's a bit of a.
But the big thing about this is that they don't have to have these strikes. They know, everybody knows how much they can get out of this. And both sides are wishy-washy, and they both want people carrying placards around.
They want the drama.
You think the school committee wants people carrying placards? around?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because it makes, then they know they have a job, the school committee. They do something. Okay.
So
Well,
there's a logic behind it. I don't know that that's...
There's some
okay.
there's some sort of logic. Anyway, there's a certain quandary here because, you know, I think we're all of the opinion that teachers are underpaid for what they do.
Of course.
You know,
But some shouldn't have jobs at all.
I certainly would pay teachers more than police and firefighters and those
You would?
people. Yes, absolutely.
okay. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, I wouldn't.
You
I'd
would?
pay him. I'd pay him about the same. Why are?
You spent a whole
I guess it
career
would
as a
depend
teacher.
on what kind of
I know, I
teacher.
had all these police in the office all the time coming to visit me.
Well, hopefully, at that money, I could get some better ones.
Yes.
They brought me in from outside my office. They brought me in a sprig of marijuana that was growing
Nice.
outside. I said, "You don't want the police here? Look at this."
That's hysterical. Nobody knew what it was. Well, the kids
Anyway.
must have. Everybody
Anyway.
They knew. The kids didn't pull it down.
That's
yeah.
hysterical.
Anyway, the quandary is that
Yes.
that they did break the law
That's true.
and they did get rewarded for it.
Right.
Now, what kind of lesson is that, unfortunately?
In New York-
I just haven't heard anybody discuss the fact that what this weekend did as it demonstrated to the students, not only in Dedham but in other places, if you don't get what you want, just break the law.
About 30,
They already know this.
About 30 years ago, this came up in New York City, this whole thing.
Yeah.
And the principals decided they would go out on strike with the teachers. And the judge said, if you don't, the principals, if you don't go back to school, I'm going to put you in jail. And he did. He put about 12 of them in jail, and they stayed there for a week, which I thought was pretty nice of him. You know.
Was this a citywide thing?
Well, this is New York City.
Citywide?
Yeah, New York City. The whole.
Well, there must be 500 principals in
That's
New York
right.
City.
But
All
he picked out a sampling. He wanted to make a.
In other words, he did what Bloody O'Reilly
But
did
then
in
he said,
New Orleans.
then he said, but you guys are paying $25,000 for every day you're out
To the union.
to the principals. He
Well, I
said.
assume to their union.
Well, actually, yes. They,
Anyway, Betsy DeVos just got fined $100,000
yeah.
for
They should have.
for
The judge
ignoring a court order.
Yeah, a judge finally got nasty.
But the only problem is the fine goes to the Department of Education, not to Betsy
Okay.
DeVos personally.
The students on whom DeVos department continued to inflict pain have already been victimized plenty, it says here. And I would agree with that. They were lied to, they were exploited by colleges that preyed on vulnerable people.
She was ordered by
Nothing
the
unique,
court.
unfortunately.
She
Many
was
of them poor.
she was
Horrible.
ordered by the court to restore these kids who went to for-profit colleges and got ripped off.
Yep.
And she instead had her department continue to garnish their wages,
Right.
withhold their tax return, their tax refunds and stuff, to collect money for these criminal for-profit
Enterprises.
colleges,
Terrible.
which were so bad that they're out of business, and she's still trying to collect money for the
Protect
criminals who ran them.
She wants to protect this.
Well, that's why she got the job in
Because
this
they're
administration.
but they're public schools. And
She-
that's, she
Oh,
has
yeah.
it in for public
She got the job because she wants to turn every school in America to a Christian religious school.
Gotcha.
That's why she has the job. Her tool is vouchers,
Okay.
right? And the courts have indicated that when we finally get to the courts on this thing, they're going to rule in favor of turning education over to fundamentalist Christians.
You're right. Okay.
You know, as the current occupant says, my judges. He started with my generals, and now it's my judges.
You think he'll get any candy for Halloween?
I think probably the Secret Service will intercept what I send him.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. What about
I mean,
Senator
they,
Warren?
They talk about undetectable poisons, but I just can't find them.
What about
No.
all these people that are running for the
Where are they? They're everywhere.
Yeah, and
There's still 18 of them out there.
That's right. There's still, and Steyer always says, "I've got the money and I can pay for everything." The billionaire.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
he still hasn't
He
reached
hasn't given up
1%.
In that way.
I mean, it's funny. He's spending
Yeah.
a ton of money. He's got almost as
Already,
many ads on
already
as
about 80 million.
Yep.
as what is it, Morgan and Morgan.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money. He's got about 30 billion.
The most annoying ad campaign on television
I
is
like
Morgan
that.
and
See, I
Morgan.
watch- I
I
don't
like
watch
that
cable or any of that,
campaign
so-
because he's calling everybody what he
Oh,
thinks.
I like what he has to say,
Oh,
but
okay.
but it's interesting because
saturated? Is
he
it too
must
much?
have he
Is it-
must have figured out that he's not going to be president of the United States, and yet he's still pouring his personal money into.
What else is he going to do with his money?
Well,
I don't
but
know.
they say spend it on something good. They say.
Well, listen,
He's putting his money where his mouth is.
calling out the current occupant is spending your money on something good.
It is. It is.
You know,
And he's been one of the first people that started all the petitions and pushing
Yeah.
back to where brought a lot of average people
This is
into.
a man who's been involved in all the things you're talking about.
he actually, I understand, you know,
Yeah.
bankrolled a really good youth enrollment registration campaign last time around, which helped. All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 weeks, there was a lot to talk about, which we just talked about.
I think we need an hour-long show.
And a lot we didn't talk about. We'll see you next week, same time, same station.
Take the flu shot.
Take the flu shot?
Have a flu shot while we're gone. We'll see you next week.
Okay.
Good night from the Fun
Love
Show
Joe.
here at Big TV.